So we begin. I go down with the camera, it goes to the right. I go up, it goes to the left. So I go forward, it goes down. I go backwards, it goes down. So now, something to do with this picture. See that little animal on that side? You see, it has to do with the imagination. Now, who am I? And I know it's a little bland right now to see me, but who am I to come in here and say anything on the internet to a lot of people that might be watching? Why am I watching? And I know I've done this before, but every time I do it, it's a little bit different. I feel a little bit different. I just had a little toke of that rosemary weed, and whew, I'm off. But I'm sad and I'm happy. I mean, when I listen to music, I mean, you must feel the same. Otherwise, the music wasn't going to be written. But I'm sometimes happy, I'm sometimes sad. I'm aggravated and I'm mad. But the only reason I'd be aggravated and mad is because I don't have a pen in my hand and I'm not marking anything. And when I mark, I don't write it fast enough for what I'm thinking of the information that I have, as it's boom, 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 boom. And when I think of something, it rolls on to something else. Now I need somebody here to just say, okay, this is what I thought. Hold on to this thought. Hold on to this thought. I don't think I can get a computer to do that. And I'm not sure where to go with this video because I came on here not really to go anywhere, but it's sad for me right now. I'm not as fast as on the ball as I was before, but I actually am. But because I'm not doing something about it, I feel like I'm not, because I want to get it done right. I want to be able to show what I see so you can see the same thing if you're interested. This is Monopoly. It's a $1 bill. You know what's funny about white? It seems to be the outline of nothing all the time. It's the bottom. It's the ice on the bottom of the ice they're skating on. The white is there. Is it good? Yes. But the minute you see a line, things show up in white. When it's white, I can see all the other colors. When it's not a paint. Otherwise, the colors become light tear. Light tear? Light means weightless, or with little weight. Tear says earth. So why did the English language go Jupiter? Because it's the electronic residency that we are hooked up with, Jupiter. Electronic, R, instead of R in the English language, it's air. Just like air we breathe, and in the French language, they'll think you were missing an H. And they'd say hair in the English language, but in the French language, it'd be H-I-E-R, it'd be yesterday. Or a hierarchy. A higher arch. Archie, where are you, Edith Bunker? What is the higher arch? What is an arch? Is it the good old Lord and Mike Civic? He was an atheist. But an atheist doesn't say, was he within Brethan or Hethan? Why would they say Hethan and Brethan? Which leads me to thinking that with Snowden, that took off from the U.S., he's a coded man. He is full of codes. He doesn't even have to speak. If you know anything about this man Snowden, he is full of codes. I keep finding him every single day. Went outside to get my car, but I couldn't because it was snowed in. I went down to see a friend of mine. He lived in Snowden next to the Jewish General Hospital, in which right now they're fighting over the rights of whether or not they can wear something like I'm wearing. But can you wear what I'm wearing with sunglasses? Everything has a color for a reason. You play pool, 1 and 9, 2 and 10. Electrical navy blue seals. Are they down in the ocean, or are they killing them offshore? The seals. We had to think about the seals. We had the green giants who were on the lake, and now green giants are now connected to Monsanto's. Pretty crazy, eh? I went to buy some water today. I was looking for distilled. Not distilled water. I said to the gentleman, I want distilled. He says, this is distilled. It says distilled water also with natural water added in. I'm going like, they put distilled water and added natural water? And yes, there's a ppm to that. A ppm. Holy crap. Must be a bloody way to say things. Which way do I want to go? What do I want to do? Is anybody wearing a condom right now or wants to put on a condom? But don't worry. It's just an arrow. Or it's the logo for the Vancouver Canucks. Or if you really take a look, it's the 25th anniversary. Because upside down is your A, and right side up it says 5225, or does it? You have to see it one more time, don't you? Let's just turn the page. Did we turn the page? Oh no. Uno, oh no. What is that? Is that 52 or is that 25? Which was it on this side? The 2 is on the left? No, the 2 is still on the left. But what if I turned it upside down? Would it say anything at all? You see, it would be on an angle. It would be going out that way, and then down that way, and then over this way. How about this design over here? You see the X over here? It can just be all folded up. You know that little thing you used to fold and open up with your fingers? Over here. Here's another one of them why question. What is the A's value? Does anybody want to tell me? 6, 7, 8 Monopoly? The number they're coming right into right now? 6, 7, and 8. 6 eyes on the jacks. 7 eyes on the kings. And 8 eyes on the queens. Because if God was a male, he ain't got one eye in this world at all right now. Not with the queens, at least. He's got all his eyes within the King Jack. The mighty KJ. The reason why the king is 13, letter M for love, because love comes from the other world. Not in this world. This world has less love in it than a drop of water in a can. And then again, by the time it dropped into the can, it would evaporate, showing no love at all. If this was a circle of love, you wouldn't come home as frustrated as we are every single day of our life for some reason or another, because somebody actually made a mistake. Again, not because they didn't care, but they weren't taught how to be aware. They have the Vancouver logo for the hockey coming in. It says the nav, the avenue, the neck, the broken neck of the green heart. The green heart of the avenue that can, from down under the cover, turn over. That's what you get out of Vancouver. My question is, we have Hydro-Quebec. I want to know, when we built those dams up north in Nunavut or wherever it is in Baffin Islands or Hudson Bay or wherever those dams are, it doesn't really make a difference if I am. I want to know where the generators came from. I want to know where the motors came from. I want to know where the water, not the water, but the wiring came from. Is it Quebec-based? How was that wiring made? Have you ever heard of the electrons going right into your water, taking in and dispersing energy at the same time? And that's right, leading up to the end of your tap water. It's not everything coming out of the air, from under the water. I bought a vegetable today, and I had to bring it back, because it said moo, and I said, whoa. Put something in my toaster. I thought it was going to be fried eggs, but then I heard the little chicken come out going, whoa, this temperature's just perfect. I'm a little bit of electric. I'm an electronic protein. What does the body need? Or was the body created to need certain things so that it can be controlled? And is it within the love of us that can defeat this control? Because everybody that feels a little bit off sometimes doesn't speak it. What happens with that off? It spreads inside of us and we no longer can share it. And over time, it spreads inside of us, not being able to share certain things, being put down for saying certain things. I was coming home today and I saw this and this in the sky. I saw the sun. It was 505 Levi's, because that sun had all kinds of rings. It was shinier than I ever seen a sun shine. Sunshine? I thought it was a sun ray. In Electric Eel, a sun ray that killed that guy, didn't even know, who knew all about animals and got killed by the ray in the ocean. Holy gee, never thought that'd come up. That sun was so strong today you couldn't even look into it. Look into my eye. Can't look into the sun. Color of money. Why and what color? Why is the 10 this color? Let me take off my glasses. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Color of Israel. Number 10. We own number 10, the color of Israel. Yeah. Put a little pink in there. Right? You got a 10. You got an X and a V. You got a little bit of love. Here you go. 1X. Oh, that's 501. Oh my God, I made a mistake. It's got to be 105. It can't be 105. That'd be a $100 bill. And you'd have to give him one of these. Gold. 10 times 10, 100. When you have 10 times 10, 100, you have 1,000. Because you own all of your world. And when you have fully connected with two sides of my world, now you own all of my world inside of your world. Although I have my own world, how will you drown me in your world? How will you drown me out? Electricity and a little white to cut into the blood. What is that white cutting into our blood? What is that white in our blood? We're getting the pink, and there's a reason for the 5 pink, because it's supposed to be a blue 10. Do you understand? These two colors, how do they match? We're supposed to have electronics, so does that mean the air is blue? 10. The 5 is the energy pink, because it's our blood mixed up with the white energy, because all it is a transformer. It's bringing over what's in it, and because it's see-through, it takes on its color through its gleam, just like the ice would take on the reflection, and it would show you a different color on the other side, like they do the hockey stuff. Balloons. This bag all is red, but that doesn't matter, because I also got 15 in here. Helium quality, okay, helium, muy, to love hell. Well, that's okay, let's just love hell. If I'm just a newborn baby and I don't know anything more than the letters, I'll see muy in Spanish and to love hell all the same. But then you can see this is on the balcony, because it says ballon, but it says balloons. Well, in French, it should have said ballon and usually 1-0. You see the way they have the little crowns on top? Green, pink, orange, blue. Now, it's the second blue. It's the second one. It's the same blue as the package. Does that mean this blue is just the background? It's the carrier of the energy? I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure on which level to look at this, because when I look at this, I also think of the Baltimore Ravens, and then I think of the Baltic down in China, or the Asia, or Australia, or New Zealand, the silent place of the zebra, New Zealand. Somehow she's connected in here more deep than anything else. How do you think I pick off New Zealand? It was pretty simple. It was the last letter in the alphabet, and it was the cross on man's back. And they got a zebra with a black and white stripe, saying somebody who's come in with purity has been turned black, meaning the energy of the connection is right on. Because if it was red, they say when you're in the red, you owe. But when you have, you're in the black. 2468, who do you appreciate? All the black numbers, of course. Is 15 an appreciated black number? 1 and 5 is 6. 3 times 5 is 15. 2 times 7.5 is the best number you will ever get. Isn't it perfect to be able to end the game on 0? 5775 is double 0. Or is it the single 0? Or is it the end of the game? That's the Hebrew New Year, the one we're walking into right now, 5775. The 0 value is 15, which makes 95. The E-I-E-I-O part, I'm never sure which way to go. There's just so much little information. I'm never sure who wants to know what, the little bit. What's it going to tell them, the little bit? It's like a TV series, you got to wait. When I learn it, I tell it. And if I learn whatever it is, I explain it, then you partake within it to think on your own, whether or not it has a value, whatever value it has or it doesn't have. Maybe it'll mean something in the future. Let's let it go for now and see if it comes on back, because eventually your mind will bring it on back. So where are we now? We have this, which is the semi-green. So the blue was half a world, and this is energy. Then we have the green, and we have the 5. Now what would go in what? The 20 makes up 2 of these 10 worlds, okay? You become green with envy. You have the yellow, and you have the blue, which makes you green. Is that not correct? The pink comes in, it's completely different. You can see the round circle. It looks like a pool ball. It also looks like something from Christmas, and this is the place you just hang the ball. So these are all the balls, Christmas balls you're hanging for Christmas. Right here in the Monopoly, and I guess we never knew forever, right? At the same time, are you mesmerized by the lines? What number was that? What else can we do? If we add up all the money, 500. Look at this 50. This 50 and this are almost in the same category, but it seems like they added a touch of blue to it. Now you got a little royal blue. And 555, gold. 555, really nice. 555. The Mayans said, let there be fives. There's nothing else. We know the Mayans walk out with 4, because 4 takes up the 4 corners. Well, by golly gee, I lost my 5. 5 and 2, and the Mayan take you home, stamping it out 5 and 2, because even if they take your body down here, okay, Mayan takes you home in all directions. She is everything here and here. You cover 4, you cover 4 and 1, you cover 4 and 1, you have covered 4 and 1, you have covered 10, but only 1 comes home, and then 1 leaves the house. When 1 comes in, 1 can leave. There's only so many angels in the world, so when 6.66 billion angels came together, that's when you were able to leave the house. 6.66 billion divided by 9 equals 7.4, or the center of the gematria scale, okay, and 24 times 74, which is the center of the gematria trail, leaves you with the number of 1776. The same as if you multiplied 592 by 3. The same if you multiplied 444 by 4, etc., etc. So here's what we're going to do. 600, 650, 660, 665, 666. No problem? 500, 600, 650, 665, 666. No problem. Here's the colors we got them with, okay? These 2 basically match, and these 2 basically match, and the 2 that are different is this and this. Isn't it funny? It's number 11. What we put together of these 650. 70, did I say that right? No, these had to go. Well, these mixed all together. It was these 2, and then these had to go, okay, because this blue and this pink ended up making this. So first we'll keep them together, and we'll get 655. So you get 655, then we take this away and we put it with here, and then we end up with 5, 15, 65, 66, 6 and 6 world. So here we're left with 600. But everybody knows all zeros are 6s. So 600 total would make 666, or it would be 166, 566. 5 times 6 is 30, by 5 is 150. 1 by 6 by 6 is 36, 186. The one world of 8 and 6. When you put them together, 166 and 566, it's 732. The back door, the creation of the Christ, and the entry pass. The great way. The year we come into is 5775. 3 by 19 is 57. Stands for the moon and Ison. 3 times 25 equals 75. 5775. Just open up roulette. Take a look at the roulette game. Look up French roulette. Look up orphans in the French roulette game, and you'll see those exact numbers. And in that period of numbers that you'll see, it'll stay the Einstein theory of 1776, because those 4 numbers, 1, 3, 4, 7, 6, are right next to each other, but some of the numbers are coupled together. So I put away this money, But we're going to count one more time. And here's the way it's going to go. I'm just going to pick it up like this. 25. This is Jack. 35. This is the egg. Why? Because on top of 57.75 is 35.57. Now we have to multiply that by 13, by 31, and by 47. See what it gets. We'll figure it out where we're going to put it, and that's what it'll mean wherever it ends up on Games People Play. Book! What are you going to do? Okay, let's throw it on Games People Play. In Games People Play, this one over here says this. It means you go down to the casino and you can't get a $25 chip, a $20 chip. You can get a $5 chip. And most of the casinos, some of them, but most of them, as far as I know, it's $5, $1, and a $25 chip. So that's the game of life. They put us into a casino where the ace is both small and high, except when you're just showing a high card, it becomes high because you always want your highest, right? It'd be pretty stupid to think, oh, my ace is low. Well, sorry, sir, you're holding on to your cards. You got a chip in a chair. You have to take the money, sir. Doesn't matter what you say, you're getting the money. So now you have 35. Then what you're going to do, I'm going to go in here, and you have 85. TWO is 58. Silver Spirit Matrix, the Pope that left office. Montana and down in Texas, speed limits that have risen. And also, in the gematria tree, when you put together black and red as the one position owns two of each. 1 and 19 is 20. 10 and 28 is 38, is 58. And the one for the gematria tree. 5 and 8 is 13, 8 and 5 is 13. 1 and 3 is 4, 1 and 3 is 4. We have Barack Obama right here. Then we want to go 185. Well, that's the one spirit of 85. It basically means the same thing, but it's who he is in this world of one. Don't forget there's 3 categories, 4 categories for everything. The 4th one takes you back home. So if you mention the first 4 right away before anything starts, you don't even leave your position. And sometimes I'm a little confused, and I wish I can actually share that with you, which means that if I see a number 3, 4, 4, 4, 8, okay, then I'm either going to break it up in 3 categories and go 0, 0, 0, comma, 0, 0, 0, comma, and put those numbers in those categories. As we always know, the complete to the left is usually the total of the addition or the subtraction, and the complete to the right will always show you your 1 cent mark of whatever the value is. 6 and 6 is 14. That 4 will always carry in its own position. So now I would have to say, okay, in the 3rd position was a number that was higher than 6. I already know go to the 2nd level of letters instead of being in the 1st level of letters, which is A to E. I go from E to I, and then I'd go from J, because it's an equivalent and it's a totality of the 10. I would then go from J to O. You'd have Joe if you went back to E and I. Then you have G.I. Joe. Sort of have like a little tree starting here already. We have $185. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm looking for my next bill. I'm searching it out, and I've got one. And it's a 1. So where can we shove that one? We'll shove it right here. And I didn't do it purposely. Now we'll get a lime green, and they'll wear off on each other because this is the lighter of this card with this 1. Without this 1, we don't change this color. So we have 21. 20, 1, 31, 81, 181. So how did we have 85 before if we only have 181 now? We have 186. So we have 186. I thought I had 186 before, so I must have made some sort of mistake before. Irrelevant to the fact, this is what it was. I think I just added in the 1 is what I added in. That's right. So I had 185, now I got 186, the one spirit of 86. So what are we actually missing here? We're missing the $500 bill, which in life doesn't exist, but as a Christmas ball, we do take the gold balls in. And the trains, they're on the track. And the hotel that's in the corner over here with the marking of this, the marking of that, they put more fingerprints to know this money than they put on the real money. Why do they put faces on the real money? So to hide their own lines that they're hiding? Come to the store. Look at this bill. Oh, yeah. I see it's a counterfeit. Teach me how to tell that nobody gives me a counterfeit. So now what I did is I looked at the palms. Yesterday, Mr. Obi, okay, Obviously, they name him after a maxi pad, but OB, okay, he was saying goodbye to a turkey he was going to kill sooner or later, who had blue on his forehead, because the turkey is always using his head. He's a turkey. Can't figure it out. And I looked at the palm of his hand, and I saw there's lines in the palm of his hand were not the same lines as the other palm of his hand I saw a few days ago. And then I lost the picture. Dudley Do-Right, boy, oh boy, sort of lost the picture. Here's the 500 one, and we're going to shove this in the tree right about here. Now, why did I shove it there? 150. You now have the two 10 worlds and the 50 pass. You're showing within the 10 worlds that it's a 10 worlds of one spirit, in which now you divide it up, telling the whole story of 20, of 5, and electrocute me with that white cell that you keep in me. Something to do with a cell that's inside of us right now that doesn't have to be there, and it's in our blood because of this color. Number 5. So now I have to go to elements and look up number 5. Element. Or is it EIO, which is the Einstein theory, because the French say I and we say E. 5 and 9 is 9 and 5, which 9 and 5 and 15, which is the egg, brings you to 10, 10, which 9 times 5 is 45, which is the gematria scale of counting from 1 to 9, all added up equals 45. 54 is the 6 faces of Rubik's Cube, or the face of your telephone, times 6 by 9 is 54. 5 by 4 is 20 plus 9 is IT, which is the computer angle of it, which is Rubik's Cube. Where else do I have to go with this? Where am I going? Sorry, I lost my place, but that's all. That's okay. What did we have? 1 and 2, 2 and 3? We know 2 and 3 creates 5 and 6. We know 1, 4, and 7 is something that is said every single day. So if 1, 4, and 7 are mentioned every single day, how is it that 2 times 3 equals 6 and 2 plus 3 equals 5? How does it work out so perfect like that? Must be a system in it, eh? How come we weren't aware of all the systems? Because if we knew too much, we would actually take part in society. Here we go. 10, 11, don't count the other one. Should have counted the other one. There must be a reason I had 2. 11, 31, AC/DC, let's go. Where's the AC/DC power? What number is the AC/DC power? Is it 31, 33, 1, 3, and 4? 531, ACE, E, ACE, 500 and what? I got to turn this over. 520, 31. ACE. A1, E5. $531, $551. The Spirit pass. 515. Jesus was born. How do I know? 33 times 47 is 1551. Moses was born at 47 by 47 because he was the beginning of time when he crossed over the river, the canal, when he separated time from one end to the other end, when he crossed from 9 over to 3 and brought himself into the new creation of what they call the black ball of the family, Saturn. Sitting on a park bench, must have been a hell of a bench, but they crossed the ocean and that was the benchmark to take them over. Who was before that? Well, Ruby Q. Where's Ruby? Ruby! I don't find Ruby anywhere. Must be in here. I must have lost Ruby on the floor. Ruby's a dice cube. When you add up 1 to 5, it equals 15. But if you want to bring 15 back home, you bring him over to him and say, "We're home, Pop. I made one move to open the door to the next, to the next, to the next. But now I'm coming back to my house. What you thought wasn't 5 at all was 5 and 1, was 1 and 5. I'm coming home." The man is at the plate. He gets over to first. He marks it in the scorecard. He's running over to second. Oh, and he's tagged out. And the next batter comes up. He's standing in the on-deck circle. He comes up to the plate. And here's the pitch. And it's a home run. And he rounds first, second, third. And then he comes home again. But what happened? He left home. He went to first. He went to second. He went to third. And he came home. I counted all my fingers. 1-0. Equals 21. 21 times 47. Why? because I say the same amount of time that God spent here, that His Son spent here, is 21 cycles times 47 equals to 987. Is that right? 987 divided by 47. 0, 2, 94, 47, 1. Oh, that'll cost you a 10 spot. So to come over here, and this even tells me even more because it should have cost me 20. So now I know there's one missing. You have to take what's in front of you. You have no choice, and that's what I'm a little down about. Every single night I feel shitty. I feel really down and out, like the bipolar's coming back to attack me, because I have to be able to put out, you know? Put up and put out, or shut up and get out, but then it'll be really sad. So we have 984 divided by 47 is 21. 2 times 47 is 94. 1 times 47, so you know you got two worlds. The one who started it all off, and then the two. 2112, 0, 2112. 120, add up 1 to 15, and you have 120. Add 15 over to 1 again, which would become P, which would be 136. Add the queen onto it, 17 equals 153. Add the R equals 171, and isn't that perfect? Take off the Q or put on the Q. Okay, you go from 136 with the Q, you go to 153. It says ace. If you take off the Q, it doesn't say ace, but it says 136, 613 laws of God. And then if you put on the queen, it says ace. So I am the ace, so it doesn't matter. I'm the spirit who runs this whole place. It doesn't matter. Then you shove the angel resident, which is the R, on it, and the R is 18. It becomes 171, which rectifies and tells it 171, of which I am the queen of the queen party of 1771. 1 and 7 is 8, and 1 and 7 is 8 of 88. I take care of the whole piano key. I am black, and I am white, and I'll take care of all yous tonight. Go figure. Is it her? It's a she for sure. But is it a she person, or is the machine a she? Because it takes in and it puts out. A man can only put out, but he can't take it in. It is she. She's it. You're it. So we get the R, and it's 171. 7 times 1, 7 plus 1. We also know we have 7 and 8, and that's the result. That is the result, 7/8 of October, and it also means the addition of 1 to the L letter, which is 12, and equals to 78. 1 and 2 is the same 1 and 2. We use the time, so we do know it's one wing, because the L letter says wing. L, it also means her. It means her wing, the wing of mother, the Veda system, the Venus system. Is it a setup, or is it really a Venus system set up for us? And they use a system against the Venus system. Who's against Venus? Can it be Pluto? Is that why Pluto's so small we should forget about it? You think it's little Pluto that's against everybody? Or is it Venus against Venus? Tricking everybody. But it can't be that, because the end result can't say that. It only can be one. It doesn't matter if it's a multitude of many, they become the many of one. When we take the R and we add them up together of 7 and 8, it equals 15. 1 and 7, 7 and 1, 7 and 1, 1 and 7. 7 times 7 is 49. 49 yard line. 7 times 7 is 63. It's a creation of the two worlds of 7. That's why you're at the 49. You split them up with a 15 egg and a 15 egg on each side. The 4 and 9 creates what? It creates an M letter. It says homo. Almost like saying homo, which homo is a type of milk. Homo means a type of man. Why? Because in French they say or oh no, and I made a mistake. So we now have R, we have O and O, and we know what goes with it. The O is the water. We have water and more water. Something about the moon is very mysterious. Shouldn't we know a little bit more? When the moon opens up and we can see the moon, what do we see? I see so much when the moon is great and bright. Maybe we should look at the moon on an angle or in a mirror of some sort. Because somehow maybe the moon is mirrored down to us, and it's not exactly the actual moon that we see, but in order to see it, it needs light to be seen at all. So the reflective light of the moon is not giving us the true sense of the moon. Therefore, when we go to look at the moon in the true sense, it's not it. So we went to R. We made 2 zeros. We connected the moon with the angel residency. We connected 171. 1, 7, and 1 equals 9. 1 times 7 times 1 equals 7. 7 times 9 is 63, the creation of R. 3 16s, 48. 1 8 is 666. 0 and 0 is 30, we got an egg tray. 2 times whatever it is equals 15. 1 and 5, A and E. A and E, and E and A, 6 and 6. Now we add on the S. We add on the S because R is the end of the first 18 initial numbers that build that 2 by whatever you want. I'm not sure what the size is. I'm not quite sure. You see, the pyramid walls had to come out before they broadened off and shaped the ship. So it has to be a certain angle. I'm not quite sure which angle that is. I hope I didn't confuse you with entering in the angle and why the R is the end of the first 18. Well, first of all, after R, that's it. Because R doesn't have another letter that goes in between except for the connecting letter that connects the rest of the alphabet to YZY. 19S is actually adding to the family of A, which is AR in English, and saying A and R, which is 1 and 18, because it's in the A family, equaling to the S, bringing the S over from the second side of the gematria tree onto this side, connecting AR to equal S, which it took the A to the R, just like it took A and C to create the actual of I and G, or the G is the portal of the I and is also located in Venus. Oh yeah, I'm sure it's located in Venus. Don't you worry. Every single woman knows where it's located. So then what we have to further on, when we add the S, we get to 190. Okay, 190 from 171, adding to R. And that's funny because 19 is the moon and the man in his world, the 5 world and 5 world, and the 9 birth that lives in both worlds, electronic and angel residence. Don't forget, there's a reality and a truth that we are real. Not only are we electric, not only do they take advantage of who we are, not only do they know who we are, we just don't know, and we're still 2 parts of a world, plus the 3rd world that has interrupted our stay. So we have 190, we have 19 and 6. Cat and the dog. Why? Because we roam around, but we're still stuck inside. No matter what we do, the cat's in the house. Dog runs around, which was basically us. So after we go up to that, we go to 20, which is now 210, another 0. 2, 1, and 6, because the 6 interrupts. It's 2, 1, and 6, and 2, 1, and 8, because the opposite of the 6 is the 8. So now when I told you that 0 equals to 15, which equals to 6, it also equals the 8, because the 8 is a reflection of the 6, and the odds of the 8 and the 6 are 7 to 6, so now you include 7 and 6, 8 and 6 is 14 and 13, which equals to R and I, which is 3 times 3 times 2 times 3, is 6 times 3, 3, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, whichever way you want it. You now have I and R equaling to the Y that reconnects, because the 27th letter actually falls after the Z, which reconnects the Y, ZY to ABC, or after you get Y at the end of the Z, do you start at 0 again? That is the question. Do we start at 0 after Z, or not after Z, after Y? Because if you would put 2 Y's together, Y, Z, Y, O, Y, then you can probably make a 0 between the 2 Y's, in which one of the Y's is not a Y at all. It's the A letter, but could be misinterpreted, and we can go all through the alphabet going O-X-Y, O-X-Y, O-X-Y. O-X-Y, I'm going to show you how come. In the basic play of a letter, here, okay, is an upside down Y. Here is an upside down Y, it becomes the arrow, okay? Now if I take this pen, okay, all I have to do is do this, and now I have a Y over here. If I take it and I put it this way, I now have a Y over here. I put 2 Y's together, I got an O. But because I put those 2 Y's together and it crossed the path, I now created the X. The houses that I stay in create your W and your V. At the same time, when you make the crossing, you create the T. But in no time did you come around and associate the whole thing together, which creates the U. The R is created on a slant and a slide because you don't see it. But the R is standing right here. You see the R? The R is standing right there. Before the R is the S. S. What else do we have before the S? We have the P. Well, we have the P inside the R. Well, then do we have the Q? Well, can't you see the Q? Can't you see Q's all over the place? Every time something's cut, we know it's a Q. Before the P, the Q, the O, the P, the U, the O, the M. Well, everybody knows there's an M. The question is, where's the M? But there's many ways to look at the M. Which way do you want to look at the M? I'm really confused myself. I can go this way and this way. But then they'd say that's 3. Oh, you want it as 3, you want it as not 3. I went around this way before we went this way. Then it says 7 and C. So we can do that, basically the whole alphabet, because that's how this system works. It gives you the whole alphabet. So then we went up, we counted to the letter T, which is 210, and then we used the U. Becomes 231. ABC, BCA, all the same thing. It's just a back door to the spirit. It doesn't matter which portal the spirit is in. If he's there, he's in one of the worlds, and it's like me saying you and I, and him and you, or him and you and I. Then we get to the V. From 231, it goes up to 253. Excuse me, to 153. Is that correct? No, we go up to 253. 253 is 106. Now 106 is 10, F, it's the face, it's the creation, it's the two worlds of creation in one of the worlds, because it's using 20. 20 says one of the worlds, this is what it is. 106, 10 now becomes a 6, so now it's talking about the spirit in both worlds, talking about one complete object of some sort. So then we have U, and then we have V, which brought it up to 253. And after V, W is 275. Now that's the period we're in right now. 2 halves of the egg, both on one side, inside life. One of them in split would be 5775, the world we're coming into, the home world. 7 times 5, 7 plus 5 is 35, plus 12, 47 equals time. So that we know V, the letter, will equal W in creation, now also has the projected letter of time. Isn't that funny? The W, number 23, that we look at, the backdoor entrance into this world, into your mind, talks for time. So I said 247, or was it 274? Or was it 247? 210, 231, 241, 251, 253, 263, 273, 276. 276, is that where I'm at? 286, 296, 300? Yeah, by the time you get to X, it's 300. That's a bowling score. 150 and 150, but the separation in the bowling score is different, because in the first 5 frames you add on what you got through the 6th and 7th frame, that at the end of the game, when it's over, you only actually have bowled 4 frames but have 5 strikes. You'd get the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9, and all of the 10 frames. So you have 6, 7, 8. Well, actually, the first ones had to go all the way to 7 to count in the 5th box. So you can't count the 6th and 7th. Well, you can only count the 8th and the 9th box that hasn't touched the 5th box. Now, if you're only counting the 8th and 9th, that hasn't touched the 5th box. Well, that tells me that in the 5th inning, and there's a rain delay, the game will be over. If it's already marked up 3 strikes into the 5th frame, the baseball game is over. We're not going to use, just like you don't use at the end of counting strikes in the 10th frame, we're going to add up in the 5th box. We have 150. Then in the 6th, we have 150, 160, 170. Then we're going to have 180 in the 7th box. In the 7th frame, we have 180. Then when we go bowl 8, 9, and 10, we end up with 30, 60, and 90. Well, something's missing here. Right, I see what's missing. What's missing? This is the score. In bowling, you get to the 5th frame, you have now entered the 7th gate, because you had to complete the 5th frame with your 7th shot. That means in the 5th frame, or the 5th inning, the game is now rained out, because you bowled and you played your 7th frame. So we wipe out 5, 6, and 7, in which the spirit of 76 is already in the game. Wipe out the electricity from 1 to 5 because it's already in 8 and 9. So 8 and 9, we now have the 7th inning stretch from baseball coming into the bottom of the 7th. Why? Because we only needed one team to complete the 5 innings of play because you're the home team, just like the 9th inning, 5th inning, and 9th inning, same scenario. EIEAO. It's not like a hockey game where you can give up the puck. Now you go in the 8th frame, you get 30, your creation in this world. Now you go to the 9th game, there you go, 60, 66, you're at both worlds. Then you go into the 10th frame, the game is over. You have 270. INR, you're in 3rd. You lost 30 because we did not associate the 8th and 9th with the 6th and 7th because the 9 ends up inside the 6th where you become inside the 7th gate in the 8th world. So we disassociate 6 and 7 again. Isn't that a lovely way? Just learned that myself. Did anybody understand? If you didn't understand, it was 45-45. If you didn't understand that, try and remind me. The 5th inning, the 7th inning. Like I say all the time, what I do is a part of every aspect of your life. Whatever you see, you look at this and you come home and you say, I saw this today somewhere else. And you say, I put red at every red light I saw today. This is a cherry red. It reminds me of the cherry apple. You say, this cherry bloom reminded me of the cherry apple. And you document it somewhere in your head. Put it on a cassette. Put it online. Put it somewhere. Just like every single message you don't want to forget. Well, the most important thing in your life is everything you see. But you can go a little crazy and nuts. That's where I come in. I go the little crazy and nuts that I don't want to forget, and when I don't get anything done, I feel like I'm not doing anything at all, and my cassettes are getting old already. I haven't done a video in 3 days, in 2 days, in 1 day. People do videos once a week. So I can't let that get in my mind. I can't let that disturb me. What I do let disturb me is I eliminated a lot of things in my life. If I'm not online doing research, or if I'm not painting, I cannot be wasting my time unless I earned the time that I'm allowed to use for myself, not counted as wasting. Wherever I want to go, I'm allowed to go basically for a certain period of time as long as I've put in my homework, or I'm not allowed to go. I'm my own punisher. The worst punishment I get is the survival of the mind. I don't do any punishment. My punishment is, oh my God, why did I do that? Why did I do that? That's our worst punishment. Why did I do that? Well, if I wouldn't have done it before I thought of it, then I wouldn't have done it at all. If I knew I was going to worry so much, and I know how much I'm going to think after I come home from wasting too much time. And sometimes I have to understand when it's not a waste of time. I can't always be giving myself trouble. Raphael 7286 on a constellation of Pegasus. Thank you for watching. 5775, the year it is, 5775. Thank you.